Welcome to the Practical Buddhist. Today's talk is about how to tell when the ego mind intervenes in your process and what to do about it. A central goal of walking the path is to see things through the eyes of your true Buddha nature, your heart, rather than your ego mind, and thus end your suffering. What does it feel like to see things through the eyes of your true Buddha nature? One of my daily mantras describes it. My true Buddha nature observes everything through my heart, not my mind, through the positive energy and joy in my heart, through the neutrality of my senses and the equanimity of my third eye, free of worries and concerns, full of faith. And when the mind intervenes with its what-ifs, I say no to it and return to my heart. So every time you are consumed with doubt, every time you run through endless what-ifs, every time you are consumed with worries and concerned with fear, that is a sign that your ego mind has taken control of your perspective of the situation. This is something we all experience. And the experience is often debilitating, wrenching. If you're under a psychic attack, the experience is even worse, devastating. So what do you do when the mind intervenes? Stop and take a few deep breaths. Focus on your breathing in and breathing out. You can say, I'm aware I'm breathing in, I'm aware I'm breathing out. The key is to stop. Stop the process of your ego mind running away with you. Stop to regain control over yourself. The main challenge in doing this is that you need to be aware of what is happening. Aware that you are reacting emotionally, to see your emotional reaction as a red flag. Depending on where you're at in your practice, you may not be able to do this just yet, and instead have a teachable moment the next morning when you meditate, the value of which is not to be minimized, but it does mean that you will suffer in the moment. But assuming you are aware and stop the process, when you feel centered, quieted, examine the guidance you're being given by your ego mind. You will see that it is not good for you, that it is not in your best interest. How can I make such a categorical statement, you may ask, that the guidance that your ego mind gives you is consistently not in your best interest? Because it causes you suffering. It weakens you. Often it immobilizes you. And so it is your responsibility to say no to that guidance. But you say, this is the way things are. No, this is your ego mind's take on the way things are. You will see when you follow through and see things through your heart, that while the facts remain unchanged, your perspective changes. Initially, you will probably find it very difficult to say no to your ego mind. I will not mislead you. It is difficult even after you've gone through the steps outlined in my video series, in which I will discuss in future videos. The ego mind's power is so strong because its roots run very deep inside you. But if you've established a strong relationship with your heart, or your angels, your divinity, or Buddha, whatever your higher power is, that will act as your anchor and help you. That said, what you want to do is reconnect with your heart and see the situation through its eyes. See the reality with all its problems and dysfunctions, but respond to it with dispassion, free of labels, rather than reacting to it with emotion. Respond to it with the positive energy in your heart, with equanimity, free of worries and concerns, full of faith. But faith in what, you may ask? Not faith that things will change the way you'd like it, nor faith in your fellow man, rather faith in yourself. faith that things are the way they are because it's just the way it is, and that you will be okay, safe, regardless what life throws your way. Like the title of the 50s song, Que sera, sera, but will be, because you have returned home and will always return home to your unborn Buddha mind, and so be at peace and happy. Only then will you be able to have clarity and apply the best judgment as to how to proceed in a way that is in your best interest. There are few things more useful and necessary than observing what your ego mind does to you, how its guidance causes you suffering and weakens you. For only then will you have the motivation to stand up to it and say no when it intervenes. You have everything you need inside yourself to be at peace and happy. More on that in the next video, The Heart's Embrace. And for a full discussion of the central goal of walking the path, if you haven't already, see the series of 4 videos, starting with the goal of Buddhism, I previously posted in this space. May you experience peace and happiness.